Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Rohm, President of Personality Insights here in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to take this opportunity to share just for a few moments what I really think and admire about Zig Ziglar. When I was asked or given the opportunity to share this brief video, I thought of three things that came to my mind immediately that have meant a lot and have influenced me about Zig. First is the importance of having a good attitude. Now, I know everybody knows that Zig is all about attitude, and we need to check up from the neck up to avoid hardening of the attitudes and stinking thinking. We've heard that. We've all heard Zig talk about the importance of our attitude is the only thing we really can control. But I believe the key concept that has helped me in my life about attitude is the fact that I heard Zig one time say this: having a good attitude won't make you do anything, but it will help you do everything better. That is so powerful when you stop and think about it, because regardless of doing, we need to have a good attitude. The second thing that I think has been just such a powerful influence in my life is Zig's view about financial success. I was having dinner with Zig one night. We were in a restaurant years and years ago, and a man came over to the table and he talked to Zig. They knew each other. Zig introduced me to the man, and then the man looked at Zig and he said, "Hey Zig, do you know John Brown?" And Zig said, "Yes, I do." And the man said, "Well, what kind of person is John Brown?" And Zig looked at him and said, "Well, I don't know. I've never had any financial dealings with him." And they went on and talked for a few minutes, and the man walked off. And I looked at Zig, and I was very young at the time, and I said, "Zig, let me ask you a question. He asked you if you knew John Brown, and you said yes. And then he said, what kind of person is he? And you said, I don't know. I've never had any financial dealings with him. Why did you answer that way? What does that got to do with anything?" And I'll never forget, Zig looked at me and he said, "Until you've had financial dealings with a person, you've never met the real person." And I remember how important that was. That burned into my mind the value of understanding business relationships and financial relationships. I remember I still got in my little daytimer here from 1992. I always write this in the front of every year since 1992. I was going through a hard time financially, and it just seemed like all I was doing was thinking about money. And I talked to Zig about it. Zig said there's three things you have to keep clear in your head. First is your priority. Your priority should always be to help people. Second is your objective. Your objective should be to make a profit. And third is your goal. And your goal is to please God. He said as long as you keep your priority, your objective, and your goals clear, you'll always have success. I will be so grateful for the last 19 years that's been in the front of every one of my pocket daytimers that I've used to help me keep those three issues clear in my mind. And the final thing I want to say is that I mentioned it a little earlier, Zig's influence on me spiritually. I know sometimes in the world in which we live, we should never mention God or say anything about spiritual matters, but I heard Zig say one time that over 90% of the general population claim and profess to believe in God. Why would I skew my message to 10% when I have 90% that are favorable towards it? And I know Zig has been such a strong influence spiritually, and as he has often said, we're all going to be dead a lot longer than we're going to be alive. So it's a good idea to consider what's going to happen to us when we take that step, that final step in this life to the other side. I'm grateful for my association with Zig Ziglar. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have known him and had his influence in my life, and I'll always be grateful and thankful for him. With his new book and possibly his final one coming out, Born to Win, I want to encourage everyone, get a copy of this book. It will be full of ideas, information, and new material that will help all of us to be more successful. And hopefully we, like Zig, were born to win. Thank you for the opportunity to share today. May God bless you in all you do.